From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Friday, March 8th. We begin with President Biden addressing the nation. The president conducted his third State of the Union address last night, highlighting his accomplishments and telling voters what he wants to do if he's reelected for another 4 years. A few of the issues he touched on included women's rights and inflation.
I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home.
Following his address, Alabama Senator Katie Britt delivered the Republican response, criticizing the president and calling for change. Indiana lawmakers also reacted to President Biden's State of the Union. Democratic Congressman Andre Carson criticized the president for his handling of the war between Israel and Hamas. Carson said, quote, "No one should have to look at the sky and wonder whether it's bread or bombs." He went on to say, "I'll continue to push the president and my colleagues in Congress for a permanent ceasefire." Republican Congressman Larry Bouchon also spoke out, saying President Biden failed to address the issues impacting Hoosiers. He said, quote, "I remain steadfast in my commitment to advocating for the people of southern and west central Indiana and delivering conservative and bipartisan wins for the American people." A deadly crash on the city's east side slowed traffic on a portion of I-465 last night. We previously told you about this story on Wish TV. Police say that crash involved a car and a pickup truck. At least one person died, and no other details have been released at this time. Now, this is a developing story, so make sure you download the Wish TV News 8 app to get the latest information as soon as it comes in. In Fort Wayne, police say a man is dead after being shot yesterday afternoon. We're told it happened in the area of Hughes Street around 425. Police say officers found the man with gunshot wounds. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. When it comes to the weather, pack the umbrella. Storm Track 8 says you can expect steady showers this morning, followed by a few thunderstorms heading into the afternoon and evening hours. As for the weekend, it will be a wet one and a cold one too. Marcus Bailey has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
Nothing severe here, but you got to be on alert today because I think it's going to be one of those washout types of days, and it definitely will impact both the front end and the back end of the workday here. So yeah, you're going to get the windshield wipers moving along. It's also going to bring in some colder temperatures too, which that is another story that we'll talk about here. Let's begin with Storm Tracker. Most of the rain is relatively light here this morning, and it's just been kind of intermittent around the metro area. It does pick up a little more consistency down in southwestern portions of the state. You're noticing a few downpours as well. Now, I got lightning tracker on, nothing locally here. I'm probably going to avoid any lightning strikes through the morning hours, but we may have better opportunities as we get with the heating of the day for a few non-severe thunderstorms. Temperature's not bad, mid to upper 40s, and you can see a lot of rain already starting to kind of roll into the state here with all the sweeps here on Storm Tracker. Futurecast, I'm going to specifically just focus on the daytime hours for today, all right? 9 a.m., that's a pretty wet look as we get on the tail end of the morning drive. Again, I don't think it's going to be super heavy rain for the morning commute and the kiddos at the bus stop, but it'll be pretty consistent. Now, by lunchtime, the steady rain moves north. It kind of fills back in by the afternoon as a low pressure system gets closer. This is where we could get a few of those non-severe storms, and that's where you could potentially get some heavy rain. So if you're heading home from work, going to dinner plans, we've got regionals for boys basketball tonight. Do be prepared for that. Now, it's still going to be mild, around 60 degrees later this afternoon, but here's what's waiting for us coming up later tonight into the start of the weekend, the potential for even heavier rainfall amounts.
To get a peek at the full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app, and don't forget to check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. As many of us know, the process of moving can be a stressful and expensive task. But one company is putting an incentive on bringing families to the Hoosier State. Evan Hawk of MakeMyMove.com says he's giving families up to $15,000 to make the move. If you're wondering, the cash is legit. It comes from a program pushed by this state's Economic Development Corporation. The only catch, candidates must have a remote job and commit to living in the city they move to for at least a year.
These people tend to be in knowledge trades, so think engineers and salespeople and marketers, but they're highly paid and highly educated, and they tend to bring families with them.
So far, Hawks Company has helped families move to 27 cities across the state. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Friday, March 8th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.